Yo! My boy Lelouch is using Rolo like a fucking flute. Dude, he's playing him. He's playing him like a banjo, he's playing him like a guitar, whatever musical instrument you want to associate Rolo with. Lelouch is playing him hard. That end, that line, that badass fucking dialogue, that one dialogue line that Lelouch had at the end of this episode was the shit. Let me try to quote it. And now, I'm not going to be completely accurate with the quote, but I want to try to quote it. "I will cast you away like a dirty rag, Rolo. Using my sister's position and pretending to be my little brother." Oh my fucking dude. Fucking Lelouch, man. Dude. Like, when I saw the end of this episode, I was like, whoa, what the hell are you doing, Lelouch? Like, when I was watching this, I was questioning, like, okay, Lelouch, why do you want to be friends with this kid? Like, no, he took your sister's spot. And then we see the true personality of Lelouch pop up, and he's, like, just being all evil. That laugh, that smile, oh, and that dialogue, just, oh, 10 out of 10 for the dialogue. Damn, that dialogue. That's one thing I love about Code Geass, that dialogue. I don't know if it's because of the Japanese translations like that. I wonder if the actual English subs have the same exact lines, because, man, that dialogue is too damn kick-ass. When I saw that, it's like, yep, Lelouch, this is why I love your character. This is why I love you, Lelouch. Your cocky attitude, your badass tone, and the way you act all menacing behind the scenes. That is just so great. I love it. And that's what this episode does. Lelouch playing people, setting the game, setting up the chess pieces for his victory against Rolo and all these other people that want to capture C2, beat him, whatever. He is playing everybody if they were pawns. And that is why I love Lelouch. And that is why I've loved Lelouch's return as the fabulous Zero. So, this episode, man, I'm glad I watched this episode tonight. I really am fucking glad I watched this, because this was good. The cliffhanger's nasty once again. I hate those cliffhangers. Like, every single episode of Code Geass is a cliffhanger, and I don't like that at all. I don't like constant cliffhangers. I mean, I know there's more episodes, and I know I can go watch it anytime I want, but I want to actually stick to the episode-by-episode review format. That's what I really do want to do. And I know a lot of you were slightly upset because I decided to speed run through a lot of it and, you know, pretty much do a big compressed review. So I'm trying to keep to actual episodic reviews, but it's so damn hard, man. It is so fucking hard just sitting back and watching this series one episode at a time and all that. Like, oh, it's hard to resist because this series is getting good. Now, I want to actually talk about a couple things. So, I know a lot of you Chibits, a lot of you have said it quite a bit since I started reviewing Season 1 of Code Geass. A lot of you have told me that Season 2 has its issues. And necessarily, I think I slightly understand where some of you are coming from. I'm guessing it has something to do with all these characters being introduced. Like, there is a crazy amount of characters being introduced in these past couple episodes, and it's really hard for me to actually keep up with all these random names popping up, like freaking Vincent, and then, you know, we got, let's say, Zach and Cody, and, you know, just random names, okay? Random fodder names. These just random people popping up, like Dalton's son. I'm like, what? Like, Dalton's son? Okay. So, just all these people popping up, and I'm questioning, like, should I really be trying to learn these people's names? Because there was a lot of people getting wrecked in this episode. Like, there was a bunch of Britannian soldiers in their mechs and, you know, going after Lelouch or Zero, and they were getting wrecked. They were getting destroyed. Some of them survived, but, I mean, there was a lot of names just thrown on top of me in this episode. I'm like, oh god, am I supposed to recognize all these characters and learn them? I'm just really curious about that. Also, one thing I'll have to say is Britannia, you, oh my god, seriously, Britannia, you really need to beef up your security. Like, you let Lelouch once again do the foundation block crumbling. For instance, Lelouch used the foundation of these different structures to his advantage. You would think Britannia would have updated their, security, foundation, their building structures, whatever, because if it happens once, it will happen again if you don't freaking fix it. If it happens the first time, it happens again. Yes, well, they thought Lelouch would never use his Geass again, but it doesn't matter. It still doesn't matter that could happen once again if there was a traitor inside of that, little operating system that controls the building. So, Britannia, you should really get a good slap in the face for that. You really should, because you should have known to beef up your security. Just like, damn. Like, if I was, on Britannia, like, if I was Britannia and I was, controlling construction or whatever, if I was a high-up leader and I saw Zero come in and he's wiping out a city, oh god, I remember that episode. I remember episode 23, freaking Lelouch is going through the entire city, you see these buildings collapsing down, he's laughing all evilly, and then you're like, holy shit, you just see these buildings coming down. And you would think, after so much devastation, so much death, that they would have, at the very least, beefed up their foundation blocks. That would not have been that simple. Like, could they not have, made it to where you would need multiple people to kind of open up the foundation and make it collapse? Like, they could have had, 3 different stations, different, buildings separated way off of different people that has to have clarification to activate this platform. But, no, they continued with this one single area. My god. Now, that's nothing wrong with this episode. There's nothing wrong with this episode. Just Britannia, beef up your fucking security, because you call it the Black Rebellion. That's what you call that move that Lelouch did, but you don't beef up that security. You have the time to give it a badass name, but you don't have the time to back up that security. Okay, so now that I got past that, I will have to say, Rollo, as I said in the last episode, I don't know how I feel about his character, but with this episode, I slightly do. And now, I pretty much know how I feel. He is a type of character that has been thrown into battle, and he really doesn't have any family members. Like, he doesn't know what it means to have a family, to be loved, stuff like that. It just seems like he's been fighting for quite a long time as a trained assassin, stuff like that. And so, he's just been alone. He's very lonely. He's that type of character. And he pretty much has a slight mental breakdown in this episode. Like, he doesn't break down like Nina did in the final of Season 1. Holy shit. But he slightly broke down in this episode, and he betrayed Britannia, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, he just betrayed Britannia because he wanted Lelouch as his brother, because Lelouch gave him a birthday, like, celebrated, a day with him, and he felt like, oh, this is the first time he's ever had family. So, Rollo, at the moment, he's a very blank character. Like, at the moment, he has no substance where I could say he's really, really interesting. I mean, his power's interesting, and speaking of his power, I called that shit. I called that shit. I knew his Geass ability had something to do with paralyzing someone, because they showed it on the camera when he used his Geass. He was still moving on the camera. So, as I predicted, it was because he, paralyzed the nervous system or whatever to anyone he uses it against. And so, that makes me question, since now, technically, his time stop ability, if it does increase his power, his, Geass power increases, I wonder what would happen. Would it be to where, everybody in his vicinity around him gets frozen? Paralyzed? That'd be kind of fucked up, if you think about it. You can't walk around anyone because you paralyzed them? Dude, that would kind of suck. That would really suck. I mean, imagine the radius. I don't know, how many yards is that his, level of Geass? I think it's 30. I'd have to say estimate about 30 yards, maybe. That's, I guess, Rollo has with his Geass. So, imagine having nobody around you. You couldn't have nobody around you because your Geass affects a wide radius. And it doesn't have to be directly put at someone's face. He has this little room type thing, from Law, from One Piece. He has, this room pop up all around him, and it affects everybody in this bubble. So, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to have eye contact with Rollo for it to affect you, like Lelouch, has to look at someone's eye. So, that would mean anybody around him would be affected by his ability. Kind of fucked up. Oh, yes, he actually forgot to mention one thing that I wanted to mention in the last episode review. Lelouch's way of hiding his Geass, I like that aspect in the last episode, when he actually used the little eye color things. I forget exactly. Contact lenses, that was the word I was looking for. When he was using the contact lenses to hide his Geass, it's pretty smart, quick-witted. I was actually going to complain about that in the last review. I was like, why the fuck is, Lelouch not showing his Geass? And then we found out it was contacts. I'm like, oh, okay, I can live with that. But I was going to complain about that in the last review, but I'm glad, it cleared it up and it was just contacts. So, besides that episode of this, you have it to where Lelouch pretty much won. And that was pretty much this episode. Lelouch won. It's a good episode. Really enjoyed this episode, setting up quite a bit. Rolo joins the party. Toto, Ogi, and all them are pretty much fine. So, yeah, it's a great episode. Another wonderful episode. I mean, it's not as bad cliffhanger as the previous episode. Oh, God, I hate that cliffhanger. Tell me your thoughts. I love y'all so much. You have a wonderful day or not wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.